College basketball season is really underway. One of the best events, the Champions Classic.
When you step into the ring, you better be ready to throw a haymaker.
Set, go.
Kentucky is filling it up.
We are here to win Ben.
Five-star recruit Cooper Flagg has committed to Duke.
The dude is a generational talent. That boy bad.
This fan base is ready to go. The season starts tonight. Welcome back to the State Farm Champions Classic. An ESPN Sonic blockbuster. Back inside State Farm Arena here in Atlanta, the second game, and it's a doozy. It is Duke and Kentucky, and this building is really alive right now. The Blue Devils heading to their bench, the Wildcats on their bench. Mark Pope in his first year as head coach of Kentucky, John Shire in his third year as head coach of Duke. Dan Shulman and Jay Billis, we've been around here more years than we would care to mention right now, but it's not about us. Let's talk about this game, and let's begin with the Blue Devils and an outstanding freshman class.
Well, the most talented roster 1 through 10 in the country. They've got some older players that came out of the transfer portal that are real culture guys, but that top-ranked freshman class is really outstanding. It's headlined by Cooper Flagg from Maine, who's averaging close to 16 points, over 9 rebounds. He leads the team in assists and steals, but he's not the only one. Con Knippel is the leading scorer on this team, an outstanding perimeter shooter that can put the ball on the deck. Both Knippel and Flagg play with the maturity that is far beyond their years. They're more about making the right play than putting points on the board under their name. And Cooper Flagg, with his size, his skill level, his ability to play on both ends, he's the presumptive #1 pick in the NBA draft, and I think there's a lot of agreement out there about that. And Con Knippel out of Wisconsin played on an undefeated high school team last year, ranked in the top 30. But I think now he's looked upon by NBA scouts as a surefire lottery pick with the way he shoots it and as tough as he plays at both ends of the floor.
Blue Devils getting introduced right now here in Atlanta. They will take on Kentucky. You know the story. John Calipari's now at Arkansas. Mark Pope, former Wildcat player, won a national championship in 1996 in his first year, takes the job, has no scholarship players, has to rebuild an entire team, and it looks like he's done an outstanding job of that.
Very intentional with the selections that he made out of the transfer portal. 0 returning contributing players, 0. There was nothing on the roster when Mark Pope and his staff took over, but 9 incoming players. Look at the combined starts. They've got a ton of experience at different places. They just don't have experience together. But a couple players to keep an eye on. Kobe Brea, the transfer from Dayton. He led the nation in three-point shooting last year. Out of 201 attempts, he made 100. He shot 49.8%. And this year, he is 10 of 12 from three-point range. But in the first 2 games in the Mark Pope era, Kentucky shooting 40% from 3, making 12 threes a game. They shoot 30 of them per game. They play a 5-out offense, which means everybody's really out on the perimeter, so there's an open middle. There's a lot of great cutting, and they've got a center, Amari Williams, who transferred in from Drexel, a lefty who is an outstanding playmaking big, one of the best big man passers that we've seen in a long time.
It's always fun when 2 programs of this magnitude get together, as the Wildcats now being introduced. Oweh, a transfer from Oklahoma. He's had a terrific start to his Kentucky career. There is Butler, the San Diego State guard. Really maybe the key piece. They got him, and a few days later they got a whole bunch of other guys and started putting that roster together. Andrew Carr, who comes by way of Wake Forest, a very efficient guy on the inside who can also shoot the 3-ball. There's Amari Williams, of whom Jay was just speaking. He is off to a terrific start as well. And last but not least, Jackson Robinson, the one player on this roster who has played for Mark Pope before, because Coach Pope brought him from BYU. John Shire, an ACC tournament championship in his first year, an Elite 8 spot. last year. These are two very interesting guys who are coaching these two iconic programs.
Well, Mark Pope, who started his career playing at the University of Washington before transferring to Kentucky and playing out his career for Rick Pitino, played on Pitino's 1996 national championship team. Really one of the great teams of all time with the talent they had across the board. He played a number of years in the NBA, but he brings a tremendous amount of positive energy into this program. I mean, he's a really positive thinker, very big into analytics. And offensively, there's some genius into what he does. And on the other side, John Shire, who won a national championship playing for Mike Krzyzewski at Duke in 2010, has done a fabulous job in his third year.
And Jess Sims is standing by with both coaches.
Two national champion players coaching at their alma maters. It doesn't get much better than this, and it doesn't get much louder, as you can see. Coach Shire, what is so special, and how is it so special, this blue blood matchup between Kentucky and Duke?
Well, look, a lot of respect for their program and what they've done, and for our program. Anytime we get a chance to play each other or compete against each other, it's going to be a special night.
And Coach Pope, you never got a chance to play against Duke while you were at Kentucky. What excites you most about coaching tonight?
Well, the history of this rivalry is pretty extraordinary. It's good for college basketball. You get two elite programs to go battle together. Great coaches, great players. Let's take care of it out here, man. This environment is fantastic.
Let's do it. Thank you so much. Good luck, coaches.
Let's go. Kentucky and Duke. Kentucky leads the all-time series 12-11, but Duke has won 9 of the last 11. A sonic blockbuster matchup here between Kentucky and Duke in the Champions Classic. Duke is 3-1 in 4 matchups against Kentucky. Kentucky in white, Duke wearing the black uniforms tonight. Joe Lindsay, Ron Groover, Courtney Green, the officials here in the nightcap, and we are underway.
And Kentucky in the years under John Calipari had young teams, but Kentucky's youngest starter is older than Duke's oldest starter.
Williams the handoff. Williams comes from Drexel. Oweh from Oklahoma. Robinson, as we mentioned, from BYU. Now Carr defended by Flagg. The turnaround is short, and down with the rebound is Kaman Maluach.
Maluach played on the South Sudan Olympic team, and he is long, a shot blocker, and everything around the basket. He dunks.
And it'll go for Flagg as Duke strikes first.
Opening play with a back screen to an empty backside, and Cooper Flagg puts it in.
It is still Kentucky ball. Another look.
See, Cooper Flagg gets the back pick from Con Knipple, and then Knipple was going to get a screen from Maluach. They didn't need it because the lob was wide open for Cooper Flagg.
Is that just communication on the defensive end?
Yes, on the back pick.
Again, the look at the Kentucky starting 5. A lot of experience, but until this year, none of them played together. None of them knew each other, but they appear to have come together very quickly. 2 big wins for Kentucky over Wright State and Bucknell. They reached or exceeded 100 points in each. Up and in, Tyrese Proctor makes it 4-0.
And Duke's pressure making it difficult for Kentucky to run their cuts, but getting the ball down court quickly and beating Duke's defense to the other end is always going to be the recipe to fight that pressure.
Of course, John Shire played at Duke, won a national championship at Duke. He did not play in this event. He graduated in 2010. This event began in 2011, but he's been an assistant coach in this event, obviously now a head coach in this event as well. But he is off to a terrific start, just now entering his 3rd year as the head coach, as Oweh knocks it down. A junior, a transfer from Oklahoma, made 37 starts in his 2 years with the Sooners, and he led UK with 21 points in their win over Wright State.
Oweh is a really good defender, averages 2.5 steals. That leads Kentucky. And he's going to be guarding Con Knipple in this game, and he's really got to take away Knipple from the 3-point line, make him into a driver.
Both teams deep. Kentucky, it seems almost a certainty you'll see 10 guys tonight. And a foul before the shot.
Cooper Flagg able to come over and get that ball, got away with a little bit of a hook, but when he takes the ball to the basket, he can score equally as effectively with his right or his left hand. He's just so skilled.
Carr trying to chase him around a screen. Now one-on-one. Flag doesn't put the shot up. Knipple will. Misses the three. And here comes Butler. Carr thought about it. Now Oweh.
Williams such a good passer. There it is.
They run a lot of offense through him at the high post. How often do you see the 5-man hit the point guard on a backdoor cut?
You really have to put pressure on him if you can. He's averaging over 4 turnovers, but he is an excellent passer.
Malowacz on the offensive glass.
Malowacz, the leading rebounder for Duke, averaging over 10 a game, and 4 of them on the offensive end.
The 7'2" freshman just loaded with potential. Carr, yes!
Just a simple little pick and pop. Step up ball screen, and then Carr just pops out to the three-point line for the open three. That is tough to guard.
Carr, a double-figure score last year with Wake and early on this year with Kentucky as well. Here comes Jackson Robinson.
Robinson, another outstanding shooter, the 6th man and leading scorer for BYU last year.
Williams over Malowacz. Boy, that's a tough matchup to get any shot up and over Malowacz. Now flag baseline. And deflected out of bounds, still belongs to Duke.
No pressure on Amari Williams right here. He's just able to throw that little bounce pass on the great back cut by Lamont Butler. And then here's a little step-up screen. Cooper Flagg stays with the ball, and then he's got to recover back out to Carr, who popped out to the three-point line. Really well run by Kentucky.
Knipple is fouled by Oweh, but it's on the floor. No shooting foul.
Well, Knipple, as soon as he catches it, he's right in his shooting motion. He gets that shot off so quickly, and he's got deep range.
Here's the first sub for Kentucky. Brandon Garrison, a transfer from Oklahoma State, is into the game for Amari Williams. And again, Mark Pope can go 10 deep. That's what he has done in each of the first 2 games. If this is a tighter game than the first 2, we'll see if the rotation goes that deep.
Yeah, Duke can go 10 deep as well.
Yeah. Proctor from the foul line knocks down a tough shot to put the Blue Devils back on top.
He's had a really confident start to this season. He's off the ball now, playing as an off guard, because he's at his best when he's catching and shooting. Shooting 50% from 3 to start this season.
Caleb Foster is the primary point guard right now. If you're wondering about Jeremy Roach, he is now with the Baylor Bears. Oweh knocks it down, and it is a 3.
Well, Oweh was not a three-point shooter at Oklahoma. He's more of a downhill driver. But he's knocking threes down at Kentucky early in his career.
Duke, like Kentucky, 2-0 on the season. Wins over Maine and Army, so both teams really stepping up in competition here. And Proctor's got another one.
Well, what a great shot fake to let the defender fly by. A little sidestep. And when he's allowed to catch and shoot, he is really dangerous. You have got to make him bounce it.
This is deflected, so no over and back, but Foster steals it. And then a foul. All of that created by the defensive play of Caleb Foster.
First to the floor. Not only did he knock it away, but Butler was bending over at the waist, and Foster was down on the floor. Otega Oweh coming off the screen. You go underneath, and the driver becomes the shooter. And then Proctor with the shot fake. The defender flies by. Bottoms.
Mark Pope, in his first year as the head coach of Kentucky, he started off his playing career at Washington. After 2 years there, he transferred to Kentucky and was a co-captain on the national championship team under Rick Pitino in 1996. Then he went to the pros and both played overseas and had 6 seasons in the NBA with 4 different teams. After his playing career ended, he went to medical school and he did 3 years at Columbia University, but he always had the itch to coach. And Mark Fox, when he got the job at Georgia, got a call from Mark Pope, and Pope said, "Do you have anything for me?" And Fox had an opening as the director of basketball operations, and Pope started his working his way up the ladder. Went to Utah Valley for 4 years, went to BYU for 5 years, made a couple of NCAA tournaments, and after John Calipari went to Arkansas, eventually Mark Pope became the head coach. There is Mark Fox, who was an assistant coach at Washington way back when Mark Pope was a player. Fox gave Pope his first chance, and when Pope got this job, he called up Mark Fox and said, "You want to come be an assistant on my team?" And I asked Fox about it. He said, I was there in Lexington that night. You don't say no to a Blue Blood.
Well, Mark Fox did a great job at Nevada. He was the head coach at Nevada. Coached Nick Fazekas back in the day, then became the head coach at Georgia after that.
Corner three for Andrew Carr.
And Mark Fox was telling me that Andrew Carr is going to do really well in this system. He was so efficient in his time at Wake Forest under Steve Forbes.
Cooper Flagg with the pull-up.
He's got a lot to his game. Really good handler and really effective on the defensive end.
And can be the best player on the floor without being the highest scorer in the game.
And that last foul goes against Malik Brown, who transferred in from Syracuse, where he led the ACC in steals last season. But Flagg just gets a little bit of space, has the opportunity to cross over and just get into that rhythm pull-up. It's hard to believe he's only 17 years old. When he was playing for the USA Select team against the Olympic team, he really impressed the NBA players. They were all talking about the talent that he has and how good he's going to be.
He was the only player on that team who is not currently in the NBA. Kriisa, 3 years at Arizona, last year at West Virginia, knocks down a three.
One thing Kriisa is not is afraid.
No. And it's turned back over to the Cats.
Kriisa will shoot the ball from anywhere. Just came off a 12-assist game against Bucknell against only 2 turnovers. He's got a 6-to-1 assist-to-turnover ratio in this young season.
Yeah, had a great game against the Bison, last game out for the Wildcats. And he's bodying up with Sion James right now, a transfer from Tulane. You talk about a big physical point guard, and that is Sion James. And you can hear the chant of "Go Big Blue" right now here in Atlanta. And another three. This one for Ansley Almanor, a transfer from Fairleigh Dickinson, and Kentucky Jay, a perfect 5 of 5 from beyond the arc.
They're spreading the floor, getting a piece of the paint, and then playing out of it.
Again, 10 guys who had never played together before. A lot of bonding activities in the summer and the fall to get to know each other. And Mark Pope preaching over and over the collective. Give of yourself to the group, and you will get so much more out of this.
Well, it's funny, the 1996 Kentucky team that Mark Pope played on was used by coaches years ago. They would get the stat sheet from that team and ask their players, because everybody knew who the players were back then. Ron Mercer and Antoine Walker, all those guys, say, who was the leading scorer? And nobody knew. And they knew them as champions. And they had so much talent, but played so selflessly. And I think that's the kind of culture that Mark Pope is trying to build with this team at Kentucky.
So one thing he did was he asked each player in one of their, their bonding events, what are you going to give to the team? And what did Jackson Robinson tell the group?
He said he was going to be the master,
the great translator.
I can translate Coach Pope to the rest of you. When you don't understand what he's telling you, I can help out there.
He's the one guy who came with Mark Pope from BYU, although Colin Chandler was going as a freshman and then switched to Kentucky. But he's the one guy who had actually played for Mark Pope at BYU. So he told the rest of the guys, I got this. I'll explain to you what he means.
And Jackson Robinson is selfless. I mean, he was the leading scorer for BYU last year as a 6th man. He came off the bench, never complained about it. But both he and Kobe Brea can really shoot it and stretch the defense. Kobe Brea transferred in from Dayton, where he was twice the Atlantic 10 6th man of the year. And last year led the NCAA in 3-point percentage. Shot basically 50% from three, 49.8, and I'm a round-up guy.
That's what everybody says about you.
And he made 100.
So flag at the line from Newport, Maine. I'm sure a lot of people who are watching this game have read a lot about him, but may not have seen him yet. He is described as tremendously competitive, can impact winning on a number of different levels. And you look at some of the numbers that he has and will put up. He can be like a 17-point, 8 rebound, 4 assists, 2 steal, 2 block kind of guy. He's gonna put numbers up in a lot of different categories.
He plays a complete game. Now Duke putting on some full court pressure.
Brea, a guy who everybody wanted in the portal because of his shooting ability.
Well, I can't imagine an NBA team's not going to want him the way he shoots it.
Here's Chandler.
Duke really trying to pressure the ball. Push Kentucky a little further out on the floor. That's going to open up some back cuts.
Deep one is wide left for Brea. And the Duke fans are getting on him, but he was 10 for 12 from 3 before that shot. So you really got to respect him. He is one of the great shooters in the country.
Yeah, he's still shooting over 70% from 3 with that miss.
Flag driving on Brea, and that's going to go.
Got the switch and went against the smaller Brea, took him down low.
Flag already with 8. Duke back within 2.
Look how the floor is spread and the middle is wide open.
Williams to Kriisa. He lost it, but it bounces to Brea. Shot clock at 7.
There's a double dribble. Got away with it.
Got it caught on his leg. No whistle. Kept alive, but it's into the hands of Flag. It's Mason Gillis, number 18 for Duke, the Purdue transfer, and Brea strips Flag of the ball.
A great use of that left hand by Kobe Brea to get a piece of the ball and knock it away, because he was getting bullied by Cooper Flag and wouldn't allow it.
Chandler the extra pass. Almonor wide open. And Foster down with a rebound in traffic.
Almonor does not miss many of those. He's a terrific catch and shoot guy.
Look out! In transition, Zion James. It is tied at 19. Williams steps in, and that will go. And a bit of a fortunate bounce there to put Kentucky back on top.
A little push shot. He is not a shooter, but he is great. That's good. Wow.
And a block is called on Kriisa. The building is alive. Great pace, great energy here with the nightcap of the State Farm Champions Classic. This is Zion James in what is now a 2-point game here in Atlanta. ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. And Atlantis Paradise Island, a Bahamas resort where you can experience the discovery of a lifetime. The top incoming recruit in college basketball from Newport, Maine, Cooper Flag, still not yet 18 years of age, comes from a town of just over 3,000. His twin brother, by the way, Ace, is going to play for the Black Bears next year. They're, as we mentioned, 3 brothers. Ace is 1 minute older than Cooper, who reclassified, spent the last 2 years at Montverde, won a high school national championship last year, an undefeated season. And projected, I don't know if he's projected to wear that suit, but he's projected to be shaking Adam Silver's hand as the #1 overall pick next year.
Well, the best export from Maine since lobster. And he started the game with a lob off a back pick from Con Kniffel, but he's showing a complete game. He's got 8 points. He's 3 of 5 from the field. And Duke overall, 53% from the field, but they've only hit 1 of their 5 3-point attempts, while Kentucky's made 5 of 7 from the 3-point line. So the 3-point line has been the difference in giving Kentucky this early lead.
And Kentucky wants to play fast, wants to shoot a lot of threes. This has been Mark Pope's style offensively for a number of years now, right?
Yes, at BYU and then at Utah Valley before that. And a coach that is deep into analytics and used analytics very effectively and intentionally to put this team together. And one of the guys he used it with was Ansley Almanor, who was not as highly regarded in the portal, but the analytics told Mark Pope that he was going to be very effective in his system because he's a very good cutter and an excellent three-point shooter that can stretch the floor.
And they talked about some of the passing ability that they thought he had that hadn't shown itself, some tweaks they could make, and it was really interesting. He said, you know, on the big public transfer portal list, he was ranked like in the hundreds, but to us, he just kept rising. And boy, was Mark Pope happy to talk about Almonor today. Let's get more from Jess.
Yeah, guys, tonight is definitely a pinch me moment for Ansley Almanor. He grew up in Spring Valley, New York, and he put up 2 posters when he was in middle school, one of Duke and one of Kentucky. Now, he was hoping and praying that one day he'd be able to play for a team, and tonight it ends up being that night. But he signed with Fairleigh Dickinson. It was the only team that gave him an offer, and he had a great impact. He was a big time, a big reason why they upset #1 Purdue in the NCAA tournament. But he wanted to keep that dream alive, so here he is in his final year playing for the team that he's dreamt of his whole life.
A great story, Jess, thank you. And one of many great stories on these two teams. Knipple closes out quickly on Brea. Brea's going to get the shot off anyways. And Foster's having a big night. He's down with another rebound.
Well, that's a shot that Brea can make, but Knipple did a great job of putting pressure on it. That was a challenge 3. How about that block by Malowacz?
The first of many, no doubt. And how about the night for Foster? His first points. He's already got 4 assists in this game. As Jay mentioned, he's now the primary point guard. Proctor playing off the ball.
And Foster can really shoot it, but he's done a great job early on handling the ball for Duke.
The floater, a little bit short, got it back.
So good job by Almonor to take away that 3 from Gillis, and Gillis can really shoot it.
Went to the national championship game a year ago as a Boilermaker. John Shire will tell you a lot about wanting the fit from the transfers. Guys like Gillis and Brown and James saying, you know what? They're over themselves. They're all about fitting in on a team and helping them win. And that was very important to John Shire. Not just the talent, but the fit on this team when they went into the portal. That is going to count.
A little old school basketball, low post, banging against each other. And Amari Williams, the lefty, a 7-foot grad from Nottingham, England. That's how you get yourself called the Sheriff of Nottingham. Block shots and make those. And Mark Pope loving it. And it was a physical offensive play by Amari Williams getting into the body of a shot blocker.
Williams spent 4 years with Drexel, averaged 12 points, 8 rebounds per game. A 3-time conference defensive player of the year, but he's got a lot of offensive ability as well. And did we have a lane violation? We did.
I thought Oweh was in first, but doesn't appear that he was.
James out, flag in, another look. Watch 14.
Yeah,
he got pushed.
Looked like he got pushed in.
Yeah. And it winds up in a point for Kentucky as the lead is now 3.
Lamont Butler is an excellent defender at San Diego State. And he was all defensive team 3 times in the Mountain West. He can put great pressure on the ball, get steals.
Hit a pretty big shot, didn't he, a couple of years ago in the national semifinal to send the Aztecs into the national championship game.
But even after Caleb Foster got past him, he got right back in front. That's a big-time defender. And here's Malowacz. After the ball's let go, he just erases it. I mean, I was at practice earlier this year, and I think it was the first practice that Malowacz had been able to play after getting back from the Olympics, and he blocked every shot.
For Kriisa back into the game, you can see he wears his first name on the back of his jersey.
named after Steve Kerr because Kriisa's dad was a big fan of the Chicago Bulls back in the day.
What an effort by Butler. He comes up empty and he looks a little bit shaken up as well. And he is motioning to his coach and to the official nearby that he got a forearm to the throat. Fortunately, not too shaken up. It appears he is able to stay in the game, but he was winded for a moment.
Take a look underneath. Yeah, it was just out of view of that. Yeah, when Kerr Kriisa committed to Arizona and went to play for Tommy Lloyd, I got a text message from Steve Kerr saying, hey, you know he was named after me, and I don't see any players in the NCAA named Billis. Just saying.
Nobody wears Billis on the back of their jersey, huh? I mean, Anthony did. But he kind of had to.
You saying he wouldn't have chosen?
Yeah, you know. And that foul is on Carr in his second. So Ansley Almanor is back into the game. And Con Knipple is at the line right now. Duke is in the bonus. Missed the front end.
Kentucky basically playing with 2 point guards with Kriisa and Butler on the floor.
Kriisa finds Butler. Whoa, Butler slips and is called for the travel.
I think he got the first down.
Depends on the spot of the ball. 3-point lead, Kentucky. Duke ball. 8:58 to go in the first half. Knipple into Flag. The help from Garrison, but a foul.
Well, the help was good. The reach was what got the foul. He was right there as Cooper Flag was spinning into the middle of the lane and came at just the right time. But you got to come hands up with your body. Watch how Garrison comes over and reaches. I mean, just caught his arm, and a good call, but just keep your hands up and stop the drive.
And knocks down the first. The first game that Duke played in the regular season this year was against Maine. And of course, Flag is from Maine, and his twin brother is going to Maine next year. The Blue Devils prevailed 96-62, and Flag had 18 points, 7 rebounds, and 5 assists in that game. Kriisa now with a Brown on him. Long three. And the rebound to Knipple.
Duke doing a good job sending all 5 guys to the defensive glass.
Flag the kick. Oh, and Butler is called for a foul on a 3-point attempt.
He was flying by, and instead of just getting a hand up, he actually tried to block that shot. And Knipple, in his release, that's where he got him, was afterwards. Instead of trying to block it, just bother it.
Knipple, a freshman out of Milwaukee. Both of his parents, outstanding players. His dad, also named Con, scored over 2,000 points at Wisconsin Lutheran College. And his mom, Sherry, is the all-time leading scorer at Wisconsin Green Bay.
Knipple does a great job of moving without the ball, and he's such a focused shooter. Not just a really good shooter, which he is that, but as soon as he gets his eyes locked on the bucket, when he catches it, he is into his shooting motion so quickly.
And he made them all. Duke by 2. Butler has gone to the bench. Robinson has returned. Oweh back into the game for Kentucky as well. Again, they are 10 deep. Good defense. Robinson can't turn the corner. Knocked away by Brown. Malik Brown, a special defensive player.
Well, he led the ACC in steals last year, coming off a game where he had 7 rebounds and 2 blocks against Army. He can allow Duke to switch 1 through 5 out there, and he has switched out on smaller players while he's been out there. And gets out in passing lanes. There he switches off on Kriisa.
Kriisa gets the shot off. And a terrific rebound there by Flagg, and he'll bring him up the floor.
He can rip and run and get things started.
Proctor, no. Long rebound, and Oweh's got it for the Cats. Tipped away by Proctor. Knipple, and Flagg caught up to him to turn it into a 2-on-1 and a bucket.
Well, Duke's defense has been solid. Mark Pope and Oweh got fouled in the backcourt. You got to call that. But that defense, after the turnover, Knipple able to get out in transition and gives it off to Cooper Flagg for the easy bucket. Game that Kansas has ever won, but they made the plays necessary, especially in the second half defensively, to win that game. But in this game between Duke and Kentucky, the Blue Devils are getting easier shots than Kentucky. You know, Kentucky shot the ball better from 3-point range. They're 5 of 11, but Duke has scored 16 of its 28 points in the paint, and they protected their paint pretty well. Kentucky's only scored 4 in the paint against Duke.
And you made the point about Kentucky. They have made 5 threes. They've only got 2 two-pointers tonight. And Duke with a 4-point lead, 7.5 to go in the first. Carr has returned.
Duke doing a good job of pressuring the ball, and they're pushing Kentucky's offense further out on the floor. That makes passes and cuts longer. And drives.
Oweh, no. Williams misses the follow. Still loose. And Knipple into the front court. Left hand, and it goes.
Oh, what a tough move by Knipple.
You know, one thing that Duke has, too, is very good positional size. They don't have anybody under 6'5" on the court at any point. Everybody who's in their rotation is at least 6'5". Knipple. And the rebound to Williams.
They've got positional size and also versatility. They've got a number of guys that can handle and pass. And right now, the only guy on the court that you wouldn't say is a 3-point shooter is Malik Brown. But Knipple eyes up, and that gets right into the chest of the defender. Jackson Robinson uses that left hand to go off the glass. He's got a lot of game. Good offensive rebounder, a gritty defender.
That's the second foul on Cooper Flagg, so he sits. Mason Gillis back in, and now here comes Sion James for Foster.
This is where the depth for Duke can wear you down. Number of outstanding athletes coming off the bench, led by Sion James, who could play linebacker for just about any NFL team.
Yeah, 3 transfers in the game right now. James from Tulane, Gillis from Purdue, and Malik Brown from Syracuse. Williams off to Jackson Robinson.
You really have to work to get open as Duke is switching those screens.
And a foul on the Blue Devils. Well, Friday, women's college basketball continues. Paige Beckers and number 2 UConn taking on number 14 North Carolina. 6 Eastern on ESPN2 and ESPN+. And Gina Auriemma can possibly tie Tara Vanderveer with a win in that game at 1,216. What an enormous number. What a career.
I thought that would get picked off. Mason Gillis could have had that.
Williams one-on-one with Malawach. And it won't go, but the follow goes for Oweh.
Nobody able to put a body on Oweh.
He's constant activity out there, isn't he?
He's strong, too. Just a downhill driver that's really improved his three-point shooting.
A very old, experienced Kentucky team, just not together. But they've got a lot of guys who have played a lot of basketball. Knipple the pull-up off the glass, too strong.
How many 7-footers grab a rebound and bring it up?
Five out, everybody gets a touch beyond the arc, and that is an offensive foul on Jackson Robinson.
Let's use that off arm to try to discard Proctor and picked up the offensive foul.
Williams will sit, Kriisa will sit, Robinson will sit. But not first without a couple of words from his coach.
Knipple starting out in the left corner. If you get a wide pin down for him, he can curl it. Yeah, they're top blocking him, so he goes out the other way.
Oweh gambles, misses it, and Knipple buries a three.
They were playing that wide pin down. They call it top lock. They were playing on top of him, so he couldn't come out toward the ball, so he just went to the other side and wound up getting the open three. Really a great adjustment by Knipple.
And the answer at the other end for Brea to make it a 4-point game.
Well, you tell your players, hey, stay with him, make him put it on the deck, but still he can knock those shots down. What a great shooter Brea is.
And a big guy, too. He's 6'7". Knipple misses this three, and back come the Cats. Butler into the paint, tough turnaround, and rebound Gillis.
A good box outs to keep Garrison off the offensive glass.
Malawach got it, gives it right back to Proctor. Proctor now a junior, step back three, count it!
They got the switch. Garrison was able to stop his forward progress toward the bucket, but he just stepped back to the three-point line. Duke is on fire right now.
Proctor into double figures with 10. Again, playing more off the ball this year. John Shire says one of the best things about him, he can knock down shots, and he is certainly showing that in the first half of this game tonight. Moments ago, let's listen in to Mark Pope in the Kentucky huddle.
We're just a little backed up on our heels, guys. We're a little backed up. We're standing too much on the offensive end. So let's make really declarative cuts right now. We'll make really declarative cuts, okay? And then we got to find a way to work hard enough to get a catch not out here.
Well, that was the point you made. They're not getting high-quality shots. Duke is really pushing them out away from the paint and well beyond the three-point line.
Yeah, and really declarative cuts is a really fancy way of saying cut harder. And the other part of it is you got to work harder to get open, to catch the ball in a scoring area rather than let Duke's denial defense push you further out on the floor. Because I think, as we were talking about earlier, that makes every drive one dribble further. Passes are longer, and it's more difficult to get a shot from that distance.
Butler at the point for the Wildcats. Now Brea back to Butler. And he got grabbed.
Well, Sion James was angling him more toward the corner than the basket, and Mason Gillis just reached in to pick up that foul. That's a tough matchup for Lamont Butler to go against Sion James. That's a lot of size and a lot of strength and athleticism he's trying to drive around.
Seven-point game, less than 4 minutes to go in the first half.
Kentucky has not forced a single turnover from Duke in this first half. And it's not like Kentucky's been turning the ball over like crazy, but Duke's got 9 points off turnovers, 0 for Kentucky.
The second left-handed layup of the night for Knipple, and the biggest lead of the game for the Blue Devils.
Just too easy to get a layup. There's too many points in the paint that Kentucky's giving up to Duke.
They've now got 20 points in the paint. Butler buries a three.
The three-point line keeping Kentucky within striking distance. That's been the difference. Duke is getting easy twos, and Kentucky's making threes.
Proctor's had a terrific first half. Floats it up. Malowacz will slam it home.
Well, after that ball screen, Garrison just stayed too long on the ball.
Oweh turns it over, and Knipple has it for Duke. Proctor driving on Brea, pulls up off the front of the rim. Malowacz there to lay it back in.
Well, Andrew Carr was right there. Malowacz just went right over the top of him. And he's got a 9'5" standing reach. He can basically dunk on his tiptoes.
He is all of 7'2". And Carr felt him coming, but draws the foul on Malowacz at the other end. As we take a look at our State Farm assist to the game.
Little middle pick and roll. So Malowacz steps up in the middle of the floor, and then Garrison stays on the ball just a bit too long before he recovers. And it's really difficult to help on that in the middle of the floor. Really good call by John Shire to get that action in the middle third.
Carr at the line for Kentucky, averaged 13.5 points per game, started every game for Wake Forest last season. Can shoot the threes as well. 2 years at Delaware, then 2 years at Wake, and now playing his final season in Lexington.
He can post at times, has a good jump hook, does a really good job with vertical contests around the basket on the defensive end.
And of course, having played at Wake for a couple of years, he's familiar with the Blue Devils, and the Duke coaching staff familiar with him. Foster and James out there together in the backcourt. Proctor out there as well. Three-guard look as Knipple misses the shot. And Malik Brown is going to get called for holding Amari Williams.
Well, Duke deciding to go to Knipple with a little wide stagger. He was in the left corner and came off that stagger ready to fire. But a little too much physicality on the arms of Williams by Malik Brown. Now Williams is going to go to the line.
9th team foul, so still 1-1. ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by the all-new Sonic Queso Smashers. Live free, eat Sonic.
This is an important point in the game, the last 2 minutes of the first half. Can Duke stretch this lead out a bit? They've got the possession arrow, so it's not a tie-up. They'll get the ball to start the second half. Or can Kentucky, down 6, cut into this lead or even take the lead?
Foster spins and hits. Good patience in the paint.
Boy, really tough play by Caleb Foster. With those fakes, he locked Amari Williams to the ground so he couldn't go up and block it.
Williams driving on Brown, and that is going to be number 3 on Malik Brown.
And the one thing about Williams, I mean, you want to get him, pressure him, but you really want to take away his driving ability, because he is not going to shoot the ball from out there.
You want to force him right, too. Obviously, he wants to go left. 10th team foul, so now 2 shots here on this trip for Williams.
Get out!
A huge couple of weeks coming up for Duke. They've got a game at Arizona next week. We'll have that one for you on ESPN2. They play Kansas in a neutral site game in Las Vegas right after that, and then a week after that they host Auburn in the ACC SEC Challenge. Some big-time games coming up for the Blue Devils.
They're not shying away from heavyweight fights, but this team can handle it. They're an older group off the bench, but their younger guys are built different than most young players.
Foster called for the offensive foul. Kriisa taking the charge. And Kentucky fans starting to rise to their feet here in the stands here at State Farm Arena in Atlanta.
This is a very good shooting lineup that Kentucky has on the floor right now with Brea, Robinson, and Kriisa.
Kriisa a little strong in the rebound to Brown, who is still in there playing with 3 fouls right now. Malawach on the bench with 2, and Flagg has been on the bench for a number of minutes with 2 fouls as well.
There's that wide pin down for Knipple, and he gets the step up.
The pull-up, not just a catch-and-shoot guy.
Heck no, he's got a lot of game, and Duke is going to him right now.
He was named ACC Rookie of the Week, as good as Cooper Flagg is, and as well as he's played. Knipple was ACC Rookie of the Week in Week 1 of the season.
What do you get for Rookie of the Week?
I don't know. Maybe a plate? Did they have that award when you were playing?
No.
Otherwise,
they did Rookie of the Year.
Yeah. Carr out and Almonor back in, and now Duke fans trying to challenge the noise of Kentucky fans. This is one of the best things about this great event, is seeing the dueling fan bases. Whoa. It's a lot of steps. Down to Proctor. And a good decision to pull it back out.
Duke's put together a nice run here. If they can get a score, they get the ball first to start the second half. That can be a nice little run.
Turn it over. And there is time here. Williams throws it away.
Boy, he had Kobe Brea on the right as well. Just come to a jump stop. He hits Brea.
And now Duke is going to get the ball back with 5.2 seconds left and a chance to push this to a double-digit lead. More basketball coming your way Thursday night, 9 Eastern on ESPN2. It'll be Grand Canyon and Arizona State in an interesting matchup. Again, we talked about it in the first game. Bobby Hurley's team, they gave Mark Few's Gonzaga Bulldogs all they could handle. Arizona State was absolutely blitzed by Duke in an exhibition game, 103-47, but then they played Gonzaga even for about 37 minutes the other day before losing by 8.
And Grand Canyon has a good team. Tyron Grant Foster, one of the best scorers in the country. But right now, Duke's got plenty of time with 5.2 seconds to get the ball to the other end. So Kentucky wants to be up and not allow any straight line drive.
Here comes Foster. And had it blocked out of bounds as the half comes to a close. A spirited 20 minutes. I think John Shire is asking if there should be any time on the clock. Like, did the ball hit something? And I think the officials are going to go look at it. Did it hit a wire or the side or a clock or something like that? Shire is wondering if there should still be any time on the clock. And there, so maybe 2 tenths.
Enough for a controlled tip.
Yeah.
Previous plays under review. See if there's any time left on the clock.
Thank you, Joe Lindsay.
With this amount of time, it looked like it hit it with about 0.2, 0.1 maybe.
There. Yeah.
0.2. So that's enough for a controlled tip. So Duke could run a circle lob play. I mean, and maybe pick up a foul, but you'd have to have a controlled tip or lob dunk.
It does not look like Malawach is going to be on the floor.
After review, the half is over.
After review, the half is over. Now, the explanation being given to John Shire, but the ruling is the half is over. So halfway through in a fun game. It is Duke 46 and Kentucky 37 in the nightcap of this State Farm Champions Classic. Jess Sims is with John Shire.
Coach, you only had one turnover in the entire first half. How do you like how the team's taking care of the ball?
I love it. I mean, it's hard to do better. We could have had 0, but look, they push it so hard at you, and they're so good in transition offense. Taking care of the ball is a huge thing against these guys.
And you're leading 28-6 with points in the paint. How do you build on that in a second?
Well, it's been a big point of emphasis for us. You know, I think our guys are doing a great job fighting for the rim, attacking downhill, trying to keep them on their heels as much as possible, and then just make the right reads and make the right plays from there.
Thank you so much, Coach.
20 more minutes to come. 9-point lead for Duke. Time now for the Jeep halftime report. Back to the studio with Kevin J. Will and Coach. Welcome back to the State Farm Champions Classic. The Duke Blue Devils being led by 2 of their freshmen. Cooper Flagg and Con Knipple have combined to score more than half of the points that the Blue Devils scored in the first half. Kentucky was in this game and leading this game early on the strength of hitting its first 5 three-pointers, but they cooled off big time after that, making just 2 of their last 11 in the first half here in this sonic blockbuster between 2 blue bloods, the Duke Blue Devils and the Kentucky Wildcats. Hi, everybody, and welcome back. Dan Schulman and Jay Billis, and Duke leading Kentucky 46-37. Only turned it over once, made it very hard on Kentucky offensively as we take a look now at our Win and Watch presented by Principal.
Well, the most impressive thing has really been Duke's defense pushing Kentucky further out on the floor, but their best players have been their freshmen. Cooper Flagg getting a switch and going against Kobe Brea, taking him down into the low post and getting it off the glass. Duke had 28 points in the paint. Con Knipple here getting top lock. So he can't come off the left side, so comes off the right. And Oweh has to go over the top of that screen. He just bumps back and knocks down the 3. Both Flagg and Knipple have 12 points in the first half. Cooper Flagg only playing just under 12 minutes because of those 2 fouls. But Con Knipple got his points in a variety of different ways. But the paint and points off turnovers have really been the difference. Duke 11-0 in points off turnovers. Kentucky had 7, Duke had 1. And that 28-6 advantage in the paint has been a huge difference in this game.
And it's not like they're throwing the ball into the post. Their ball handlers are driving it, right?
Getting downhill, as the kids say. It used to be going to the basket. Now it's getting downhill.
Yes, it is. Ready for the second half of our Sonic Blockbuster in front of a packed house here at State Farm Arena in Atlanta. The 14th annual State Farm Champions Classic. It began in New York City in 2011. This is the second time it has been here in Atlanta. It was in the Georgia Dome in 2012. It is at State Farm Arena, appropriately lit up here this year in Atlanta. And we'll have some details about the future of this event coming up later on this half.
There is no more Georgia Dome now, is there?
No.
I played in the old Omni.
Cooper Flagg, who missed several minutes with foul trouble after he picked up his second. He sat for the last 6-7 minutes. And we have an injured player on the floor. Kaman Malawach has yet to get up.
Malawach and Andrew Carr were both going after that ball.
Looks like the right knee. You could see the collision there, and then Carr fell on the foot of Malawach, and he was unable to get his foot out as he was falling to the court. And those kinds of things can turn out a lot worse than that one just did. So good to see that he's not injured.
We'll see after halftime if Kentucky does a better job of working to get open so they can make catches in the scoring area.
Oweh, the pull-up from 16, around and out. Ball's loose. Williams on the deck. So is Knipple.
Well, look how fast Con Knipple gets down on the floor for that ball. There's zero hesitation. These Duke freshmen, Knipple and Flagg, play well beyond their years.
We asked John Shire this morning, Flagg and Knipple, had they ever played together? Did they really know each other? And there wasn't much of a connection at all between the two of them as they were both being recruited by Duke. But boy, they play off one another very well. Inbounded to Robinson. Look at the rebound by Williams.
Great kick out.
Oweh from the wing for three.
Boy, that is the best time to shoot a three after an offensive rebound. And Williams didn't have the immediate stick back, but had the presence of mind to look out to the perimeter for a step-in three. And a great pass by Lamont Butler to get it to Oweh.
Proctor made a couple of threes in the first half, went looking for the foul call, and then nearly threw it away. Tipped into the backcourt. Foster has it with 7 to shoot. Taken away by Robinson. Carr. Williams can't get the shot off, at least the first time. Now he will.
Well, you know he was going middle to try to get back to that left hand.
And Kentucky fans on their feet. The first 5 points of the second half belong to the Wildcats.
Lamont Butler, he is really good at getting steals and trying to size up the dribble.
Flag no. Malowacz the offensive rebound. Flag is wide open on the wing. And out of bounds to Kentucky.
A fantastic offensive rebound by Amari Williams after this miss in the corner from Jackson Robinson. Just went high for it, didn't have the immediate stick back, and what a great extra pass by Lamont Butler to get it to Otega Oweh.
This is the first big-time game this season for each of these programs. Good defense by Foster to keep Butler in front of him. Now Oweh driving. And it is still Kentucky ball.
Both Foster and Knippel doing a great job of keeping Kentucky from making a straight line drive.
And Andrew Carr getting some very quick work done on the Kentucky bench to wrap up maybe some sort of a cut on his right wrist or forearm back into the game. Oweh blocked from behind by Flag.
That is a great recovery by Cooper Flag.
And then he is fouled. It'll be on Lamont Butler. That'll be his third.
Just a big time play by the freshman from Maine, Cooper Flag.
And now instead of the Wildcats fans yelling, now it's let's go Duke. And now Butler's coming out with his third foul.
Got to watch Knippel on this. Oftentimes he'll set an up screen, then get a screen from Malowacz. There it is.
Kriisa has taken the place of Butler for Kentucky. Knippel knocked away by Williams, but Knippel finds Malowacz for the dunk.
Great court sense by Knippel.
The top-ranked freshman class in the nation belongs to Duke. And between Flag, Knippel, and Malowacz, you are seeing a lot of that on display here tonight. Carr to Oweh. Back to Carr. Somehow got it over Malowacz to score.
A nice little two-man game on the left side. And Andrew Carr very efficient around the basket.
Turnaround by Knippel will go.
Are you kidding me? He has got so much game on the offensive end. And he's a very good defender as well. Good pass.
Great cut by Carr, and he's heading to the free throw line.
Knippel even going to the deck. Comes off driving downhill, loses the ball, and as he's going down, has the presence, the court sense to get it to Malowacz for that easy dunk. And then watch this play. Fakes one way, turns, fade away. Nothing but net. He has got a ton of ability.
And things can go so many different ways, but you can see this Duke team, they've got a lot of talent, a lot of versatility, as you said, but it's really all built around, it feels, Cooper Flag and Knippel.
Yes, they're very, very skilled And we've talked about it. The maturity they have for their age is really remarkable. And that's why John Shire can play this kind of schedule without concern. Because these guys can handle it, and not a lot of freshmen can.
It was one of the things he said to us at shoot around this morning. He said, I don't know what's going to happen tonight. He said, but they're not going to be, you know, in awe of the moment or the opponent or anything like that. He said this is a very tough group of players, both the freshmen and then the upperclassmen transfers that came in as well. And there's a foul on Knipple, and he's upset with himself that he committed the foul. It's number 2.
And even with Duke getting so much in the paint, you know, Kentucky's only 2 possessions down. I mean, you get a stop and a score. And this is a 1-possession game, and anything can happen.
Big differences beyond the arc. Duke is only 3 for 15 from 3-point range. Kentucky is 8 for 18. Shot clock at 7. Carr the handoff to Robinson. Shot clock at 2.
Got to get it up.
And a great defensive stand there by the Blue Devils.
Just would not let him breathe.
Timeout on the floor and a good one. Duke leading Kentucky by 5. ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by the all-new Sonic Queso Smashers. Live free, eat Sonic. So what do you do when you put a roster together basically from scratch and nobody knows anybody? You do everything you can think of as a group. Whether you're good at it or not, you just get out as a group and you have some fun and you get to know each other. You throw the football around a little bit, and this is how a group of individuals becomes a team. Let's go to Jess.
Yeah, guys, Shire's not super happy with how they started this second half. He said that Kentucky came out ready, they were more physical, and they were the team who hit first. Point blank period, we got to get stops, we got to get every loose ball, and we've got to be us.
Jess, thank you. 5-point game. Big test here early in the season for each of these teams. Duke 50 and Kentucky 45. Again, Kentucky leads the all-time series 12-11, but the Blue Devils have won 9 of the last 11 and are 3-1 all-time in the Champions Classic against Kentucky. John Shire, after 9 years on the staff as an assistant and then an associate head coach for the Blue Devils, now in his 3rd year as the head coach. Not an easy thing to take over for a coach as successful as Mike Krzyzewski, but boy, it looks like John Shire was made to do this, Jay.
He's done a great job in his 3rd year. Made the NCAA tournament. His first 2 years went to the Elite 8 last year before getting beat by NC State in that just remarkable run the Wolfpack had.
The DJ Burns experience. We saw it at the ACC tournament, and it continued all the way to the Final Four.
Still one of the most remarkable things I've ever seen in my years in the game. Winning 5 games in 5 days at the ACC tournament. And when you wondered, could they possibly have enough emotional gas in the tank for the NCAA tournament, reaching the Final Four for the first time since 1983 when Jim Valvano took the cardiac pack all the way.
Yeah, the ACC continues to not put up the regular season results that they would like, but in the NCAA tournament, they have been as good as any conference. It'll be an interesting year in the league as Flagg lays it in. You know, you can see Duke's going to be very good. North Carolina's very good. But who is next to step up and challenge? Steve Forbes has a very interesting, good-looking team at Wake Forest. Can they get over the hump and get into the tournament? And then Pitt, Miami, et cetera, et cetera. Who else is going to push the middle of that league up?
Yeah, Pittsburgh off to a great start. Miami's got another really good team.
Notre Dame, Louisville look like they're heading in the right direction. That's a good sign for the league. Foster. It won't go, and the rebound down to Garrison. The SEC, meanwhile, looks loaded. 9 ranked teams in the preseason poll, 8 this week. Kentucky, think about this. And I know you know, so you don't have to think about it because I know you know already. But Kentucky picked 8th in the league preseason in the SEC. So many good teams in that league.
Yeah, that's a monster. Boy, Cooper Flagg's made so many plays right in a row, the assist being the last of them. But that spin move along the baseline that he just made, and then the steal and the assist, he's showing a complete game.
Garrison at the other end. And now Courtney Green, one of the officials, has blown the whistle, and Kamana Malawach is reaching down to that right knee again. Remember, that's the one that appeared was shaken up a little bit earlier, and he is under his own power walking to the bench, but he's coming out of the game.
Well, when Duke can get Cooper Flagg into the post, he can really do some damage there, especially when he gets a good matchup. He got Jackson Robinson down in the post on the left side, and Robinson got on the high side. He just spun baseline, laid it in. It's a great read. Then he got Robinson to switch off him again.
Too strong off the glass for Knipple, and back come the Cats in transition. It's 5-on-4 right now.
They got to get Kobe Brea some open shots.
Robinson dips that shoulder in, creates the contact, but Flagg comes down with a rebound.
Just great defense to challenge by Cooper Flagg.
Sion James again looking like he could be a running back. What an explosive burst to the 10.
Flagg makes the defensive play. And Duke, I thought that ball went straight out of bounds. I didn't see anybody touch it, but you got Robinson on the high side and goes right into his body, spins baseline quickly for the easy bucket. Just great feel to spin off the contact, and Garrison couldn't get there to block the shot.
And now the call has been reversed. It is going to be Duke ball. James at the point right now for the Blue Devils. Foster on the bench. Proctor down in the corner. He's knocked down a couple of threes. Flagg has had a big game and draws the foul.
Just got a screen from Knipple. Basically a guard-to-guard screen. That meant that Kobe Brea had to switch off onto Cooper Flagg. So he's calling for the screen just so he could get the switch. Got the switch. Brea is smaller. He just bullied him to the basket and wound up getting the foul and almost completed the play with his left hand. Just lost the ball going up.
I don't know if you can pinpoint this, but how long ago do you remember first hearing about Cooper Flagg? How old was he? When did you first see him? What did you know about him a couple of years ago?
When he was a junior in high school. And you heard how good he was, but you know, it's not like Maine is producing a ton of players over the years. So it was kind of a wait and see thing. But once you saw him play, you're like, this guy's different. And it's really the competitiveness he shows out there. And you know, keep using the word maturity, but maturity sometimes you connote with age, but it's really the way he plays. He plays way beyond his years.
Made his first 4 free throws tonight, just missed a pair there. Butler playing with 3 fouls, can't get by Proctor. And an injured Blue Devil. That 3 will count for Brea, and Sion James is down and in significant pain.
He got picked off on that screen. Brea came off, curled it, and got right into that 3-point shot. And it was certainly helpful that that James got picked off, but
I mean, he can't. Somebody's got to tend to him. He can't use that right arm at all right now. And in a lot of pain as he makes his way back down the court. He hasn't come out of the game yet. Now John Shire's making the move. Foster's going to come back in, and they'll have a look at James on the bench.
Now watch Amari Williams, 22, just leans into that screen, caught him right in the shoulder. That freed up Brea when James went to the deck. Just a hard screen.
So 2 Blue Devils have gotten some medical attention on the bench. Malawach, it looks like his right knee, and now James his right shoulder. Knipple to Brown. Now the handoff to Foster. Little floater won't go down. And here comes Oweh in Kentucky. Oweh just keeps on going, but he left it short. Shoveled ahead by Proctor. It is getting physical out there. And a good rebound in traffic by Oweh.
And Kentucky looking to push.
Williams, too strong off the glass. And back come the Blue Devils.
Not many 7-footers are going to be trusted enough to give them the ball in that spot. And Amari Williams almost made it. But a lot of big guys, you give them the ball right there, they're going to walk with it. Little L cut up the pipe and then the ball screen.
Kept alive by Brown. The kick out to Foster. Brown tips it back out to Foster. And that one is short as well.
Duke just has not been able to find the range from 3.
That will count for Lamont Butler.
Well, opportunity after opportunity for the Blue Devils on the offensive end. They just couldn't knock down the 3, and Kentucky just ran it right down their throat. And what a great finish by Lamont Butler, the Final Four transfer from San Diego State. Gets ahead of steam, gets some contact, a little fake, and then finishes it with the left hand. Kentucky putting pressure on Duke.
Well, not surprisingly, in a game like this, in an environment like this, there is a lot of emotion going on both ways between Duke and Kentucky. It has gotten increasingly physical here in this game as well. And yeah, it's only November. And yeah, even if you lose, it doesn't ruin your season. But boy, are both of these teams really giving it their all, Jay, trying to win this basketball game.
Well, we've seen some red blood drawn from these two blue bloods, and come on, Malawach back into the ball game. So his presence as a rim protector, even though Cooper Flagg has blocked 2 shots in this game, he's blocked 1. And Sion James going back for some treatment in the locker room after that shoulder injury he suffered coming off that Amari Williams screen.
Mason Gillis also into the game for the first time here in the second half. So with James out at the moment, unless John Shire goes deeper, he's got 7 players that he has already used and in the rotation right now. Kentucky has used 10 tonight, although Colin Chandler has only played a couple of minutes.
Full court pressure, 2-2-1. Remember, Mark Pope played for Rick Pitino. They had their white press, their black press, 2-2-1, 1-2-2.
Malawach looking for somebody to hand it off to, finds Flagg. Flagg spinning and has it stripped away. Gillis, the turnaround will go. Well, you can understand what John Shire was saying when he told us this morning at shoot-around. When they went into the transfer portal, it was more about fit than anything else. And you can see in Gillis, James, and Malik Brown what he was talking about. Williams. Too strong, and Malawach rips it down.
Well, he's a presence there.
Flagg for 3. Yes!
Duke had been 0 for 6 from 3 before that Cooper Flagg 3 as the trailer in the second half.
And nearing the midway point of the second half, Duke's lead is now 8. Knipple trying not to give Brea any room at all. Williams banging with Malawach, and Malawach get a piece of it.
Brea needed to move into his field of vision to give him somebody to pass to. He just stood out front.
Flagg the pull up this time. Knipple the kick. Flagg gives it up to Proctor.
Got the switch now. Brea's on Flagg.
Knipple driving on Williams, and it won't go down. Butler pushing. Great feed to Brea for the layup.
A great play off of 2 feet by Lamont Butler. Malawach limping after that last play.
Oh boy, yeah. And Malik Brown is back at the scores table, and for the second time, one of the officials, this time it is Ron Gruber, is going to blow the whistle to allow Malawach to get to the bench.
That was an excellent play by Lamont Butler. Played off of 2 feet and then drew 3 defenders and was able to kick it to Kobe Brea for that easy score. Just takes it in. Watch, he's got 3 guys around him and then kicks it right to Brea for the easy one. And Malawach, not sure whether he's cramping up or it's that knee.
So Malawach on the bench, James in the locker room, flagged the crossover, and Carr takes it away for Kentucky. It's still live, and it belongs to the Cats.
They are fighting for every ball.
Butler, and laid in by Garrison to make it a 4-point game.
And it was all the paint attack by Lamont Butler that opened up the offensive glass for Garrison.
Number 6 Duke, number 19 Kentucky, and a whale of a game here in Atlanta. .8:29 to go with the nightcap here for the State Farm Champions Classic. And this one has been everything we had hoped it would be. It is Duke 61, Kentucky 57. The Cats won't go away. They've got it back down to 4.
Ready, set.
Take a look at Kaman Malawach here. You could see it on this play. He was beginning to cramp up. He gets over to the corner and he's trying to work it out. Then when the action goes toward the basket, normally he would be crashing the offensive glass, but now he's just standing there. He got there late, but it made it really difficult for him to change ends when Lamont Butler was taking it from end to end, and then Garrison was able to get that offensive rebound. If he can run full speed, maybe he gets there, maybe he doesn't. But he's trying to get as much fluid as he can right now to work out those cramps on the sideline.
And from an injury perspective, obviously cramping is much less serious than a lot of other things could be. And Jess has been told by a Duke official it is indeed confirmed cramping for Malawach. You can see Sion James is back on the bench as well, and he's trying to test that right shoulder a little bit, Jay, to see if a shooting motion bothers it at all. Mason Gillis misses an open 3. Brea the rebound, and Kentucky can get even closer.
A change in defense. Looked like Kentucky went to a little 1-3-1 half-court trap there.
Garrison defended well by Brown. Now Butler draws a crowd, finds Carr. Carr for 3. Grazes the front of the rim, and it's Duke ball.
Nice block out by Malik Brown to get that rebound. It's Duke with a bit of a smaller lineup with Brown at the 5.
Flag with the ball, the high scorer in the game with 17. He's also got 8 rebounds and a couple of assists. Up and good. Give the freshman 19 to extend the lead to 6. As we get word that Sion James is officially out of the game. He will not return. Malawach is questionable to return. Garrison knocks down a long 2 to once again to make it a 4-point game.
Garrison shot 57% from the field last year at Oklahoma State. Averaged just under 8 points and over 5 rebounds a game. Really good athlete.
Again, 9 transfers and 3 freshmen making up the scholarship players for Kentucky. A brand new team from all over the place, and they are playing great right now. They got it down to 2.
That was a great rebound by Kobe Brea. Got it with one hand, using his other hand to ward off the Duke rebounder. And it was Mason Gillis, and they had numbers going the other way.
Knipple has it knocked away. It is still Duke ball with 6:31 to go and a timeout on the floor here in Atlanta.
Kentucky has really tightened up its defense in this second half. Cooper Flagg has made some outstanding individual plays. But Garrison knocking down the three. Malik Brown a little late recovering to it. And Kobe Brea, what a fabulous pass to Garrison. And the Kentucky bench is feeling it.
Of the State Farm Champions Classic, and what an outstanding basketball game this has been so far. 3 freshmen have combined for 43 of Duke's 63 points. Kentucky shooting the 3 very well. Duke getting inside, getting into the paint with penetration, getting some easier looks. But give the Wildcats a lot of credit. There were a few times during this game, Jay, where it felt like they were maybe right on the brink, and they just won't go away.
Well, their defense has improved in the second half by a lot. I mean, they're holding Duke to 29% from the field, 8 of 27. And they've only allowed that one Cooper Flagg 3 from the top. Other than that, they've challenged every 3. And Duke missed a few open ones.
Proctor open in the corner is fouled by Garrison.
And the cardinal sin of defense, fouling a jump shooter. Garrison trying to put pressure on that shot, but it looked from this angle like it was a 3. Just you have to let them land.
So Proctor to the line for the first time in the game. The junior from Sydney, Australia. This early season doubleheader, such a great test for all of these teams to really find out what they're made of. 2 of 3 for Proctor, and it's a 4-point game.
And Kentucky's going to have to move the ball in this possession. Kriisa's back into the game to run the point. He's not the driver that Lamont Butler is, though he does have a switch now with Cooper Flagg guarding him.
Oweh back to Kriisa, who gives it right back to Oweh. Oweh the drive, can't finish it, and it's down to the Blue Devils.
If I were Duke, I'd put Kerr Kriisa in a ball screen right now.
Here comes Knipple. Gets to the elbow, picked up his dribble, needs some help, and finds Proctor with 5 on the shot clock. Proctor creates a little space, but can't knock it down.
A good rebound by Andrew Carr.
A quiet night for Jackson Robinson for Kentucky.
He's been guarded by Proctor most of the time.
Whoa, a tough shot, and it's a 3 for Kriisa to make it a 1-point game.
Kerr Kriisa is conscience-free out there, not afraid of anything.
A 3-year starter at Arizona, also played a year at West Virginia. Carr saves it, and the Cats can take the lead.
But what a play by Garrison. They went over the screen. Knipple was open. Garrison took it away.
Kentucky led, but it was early in this game. A deep one. You talk about unafraid, but Kriisa can't knock it down, and it's back to Duke. .440 on the clock. Foster open. And Kriisa the rebound.
And there was the ball screen they put Kriisa into to get the switch.
Inside Garrison. And Flagg got a piece of it. And then Flagg fouled at the other end.
And Flagg showing that skill level to be able to drive just as effectively to his left as to his right. Little ball screen, and Kerr Kriisa just came off firing.
Always having fun when he's out of the court, but it's Duke by 1 and Cooper Flagg back to the free throw line. 4 for 6 tonight, but he missed his last 2. Well, we told you he can impact the game in a number of ways, and look at the points, rebounds, and assists. The only Duke player to have those totals in his first 3 career games.
There's been some pretty good freshmen there.
Yes, there have been. And he made them both. Mark Pope just made 3 subs. Butler is back in. Williams is back in. Brea is back in.
And Lamont Butler's had some great success in attacking downhill.
Into Williams. He's got Proctor on him. Got a big size advantage.
You can also pass over him. Great fake.
Carr to the rim. And Andrew Carr is going to the line with a chance to tie it.
What a fabulous shot fake by Andrew Carr to open up that lane to the basket. Then got the contact from Proctor and completed the play. The 6'11" graduate that came from Wake Forest. Great fake to get Flagg to fly by, and Proctor couldn't get the charge. Great play by Andrew Carr.
So we have a bottom. Hey, if they're rolling hard, take a charge on the big fella. Do whatever you have to do. Yes? Yeah. All right. Now, really important on this side. We got to rebound this ball. There's nowhere to go, guys. Our life right now is all about the
So into the huddle now in a 1-point game, 3:57 to go. Kaman Malawach dealing with cramping. Looks like he's coming back in. Andrew Carr is going to the free throw line to try to tie it. This has been an outstanding basketball game, entertaining from the opening tip until now. And again, so early in the season to see 2 programs like this meeting. Only good stuff for college basketball.
And really for an entirely new roster for Kentucky. Really impressive. I mean, 6 different Wildcats have 8 points or more in this game. They've really spread it around. And for Duke, Cooper Flagg has led the way. He's got 21 points, 10 rebounds, and 2 blocks. Con Knippel with 14, although he's 5 of 19 from the field, just 1 of 7 from 3. So Kentucky's defense, Dan, in this second half has taken a big step up from the first half. They've limited Duke to under 30% from the field in the second half.
Malawach back into the game. Twice has had to leave due to cramping as Carr ties it up at 67.
Andrew Carr guarding Malawach. Oweh on Cooper Flagg.
It's a smaller lineup now for Kentucky. No Williams, no Garrison. Flagg going to work on Oweh. Malawach might have gotten away with a push. It's Kentucky ball.
Boy, what fight from Oweh. Duke cleared out the right for Cooper Flagg to take him on. And he battled Malawach for that ball, and Kentucky comes away with it with a chance to take the lead.
He plays way bigger than his listed size, don't you think?
No question. And he is tough.
Brea. Now Robinson open. Missed the 3, and it belongs to Flagg and the Blue Devils.
That's the Flagg's 11th rebound, all on the defensive end of the floor.
And Jackson Robinson still without a field goal in this game for the Wildcats. He came in averaging 11 points per game. Knippel needs some help. And it's Kentucky ball. Inside 3 minutes to go as Oweh backs it back out.
A dangerous pass, that bounce pass. Cooper Flagg almost picked it off.
Carr inside. Kentucky leads. John Shire calling out a play from the bench. 2:20 to go. And flag is fouled by Brea. That will be the 6th team foul on Kentucky, so still no free throws.
Well, Kentucky gets a couple of back cuts and just some confusion on a switch. That left Oweh wide open under the basket. See this back cut, instead of Knipple staying with him, he thought Proctor was going to take him on the switch. Just a miscommunication led to an easy layup.
Duke ball with 2:15 to go, down by 2. Malowacz almost turned it over.
Boy, Kentucky out in passing lanes, making every pass difficult for Duke.
And John Shire wants a timeout. Got a great doubleheader for you tomorrow night. It is Brandon Ingram, the former Duke Blue Devil, who's averaging about 22 a game, taking on the New Orleans Pelicans. And then it is SGA, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, coming off a 45-point game against the Clippers last night as he leads OKC against New Orleans. And then Memphis and the Lakers in the late game. NBA Countdown tips off our coverage at 7 Eastern.
Rob Pelinka, the general manager of the Los Angeles Lakers, played his college basketball at Michigan, where he was part of that team that welcomed in the Fab Five in 1991.
What was the number? We were told 70 NBA scouts or GMs are in the building tonight.
That's the number I was told. Yeah. They've seen a show by the best prospects. And right now, Kentucky's defense has been at a different level in the second half as opposed to the first. There's the switch.
Count the basket for Flag.
Cooper Flag is just taking on every switch. Kobe Brea switches off on him. And Brea just tried to hold his ground and wound up getting his arms right into that shot, but Cooper Flag still strong enough to finish that play. What a big time play by the 17-year-old freshman. It's hard to even say that.
Isn't that crazy?
A 17-year-old can come into this atmosphere and perform at this level.
23 points and 11 rebounds in this game for Cooper Flag. And Conley knocks down the free throw to put the Blue Devils on top. Malowacz in the game for Duke.
And because Andrew Carr can operate on the perimeter, he can take him away from the basket.
And Carr's got a chance for a three-point play.
Well, what a tandem to have Amari Williams. And then you can replace him with Carr and move him to the 5. He can knock down a 3, draw Malowacz away from the basket, and then take him to the basket. Nice little shot fake, yet another one to get him off the floor and then go right into his body and still complete the play. What a big-time play by Andrew, and he's made a ton of them in this game. Big-time play.
It's only in the last 2 or 3 minutes where we've seen this adjustment made by Mark Pope. No Garrison, no Williams, and as you said, Carr moving to the 5. He's been at the 4 spot the vast majority of the night.
Well, that means they can shoot it at just about every spot on the floor, so they can spread out this defense and then drive it.
They give up size at the 4 spot, defending Flag at the other end, and now Garrison is back into the game for Kentucky, so they've gotten a little bit bigger. Flag knocked away from behind by Butler.
But Butler's got amazing hands and just a great understanding of where the ball is and where it will be.
And Mark Pope is asking for a review. We are inside of 2 minutes, and he is asking the officials to go to the monitor to see who should get the ball.
It looked like in that last replay that Butler knocked it away, but it went off the fingertips of Cooper Flag before it went out.
Previous play is under review for out of bounds.
Watch the fingertips here of Cooper Flag. Knocked away initially, but it looked like his fingertips were on it last. Now it was caused by Butler, but watch the fingertips here. I think it went off flag.
Yeah, I think you're right. He's dribbling with his left, but then you can see the 2 fingers on his right hand bending backwards. I think you're right.
The right hand caught it with his fingers. I think that's going to be Kentucky basketball.
Needless to say, a big call with just 1:41 to go.
Now the call on the floor was Duke ball. So they'll have to have conclusive video evidence to overturn it, but I think they have that, at least from the angles we saw. It's no guarantee that they're going to see the exact same things because there's a system called DV Sport that aggregates everything.
After review, the call has been reversed. It will be Kentucky ball.
And Joe Lindsay with the news. The call was reversed. And it is Kentucky ball.
Well, give credit to Lamont Butler. I mean, the ball went off Cooper flag as confirmed by the replay, but he caused it. The Mountain West Defensive Player of the Year at San Diego State. And he's been everywhere in this game, offensively and defensively.
When he put his name in the portal, the Kentucky staff, led by Mark Pope, Jason Hart, one of the assistants who had tried to recruit him to USC, said that's the guy we have to get. There's Jason Hart, outstanding player at Syracuse, and his coach at the collegiate level, the pro level, played in the NBA as well. They saw Lamont Butler's name in the portal. They said they had to get him. They flew to Vegas the next day, and they got him.
They're really playing through Andrew Carr,
who turns it over. But then a foul called on Brandon Garrison of Kentucky.
Fouls on Brandon Garrison. His third.
Kentucky is over the limit, so 1-1 again coming for the Blue Devils. And now it looks like Lamont Butler may be cramping a little bit. And Mark Pope sees it, and he's going to make the change.
Well, Kriisa coming back into the ball game.
One and one for Caleb Foster. Offensive rebound, Brown. And now flag driving on Carr. It goes. And it is tied again. One minute to go in regulation.
A weave out front.
Inside 10 to shoot. Kriisa blocked. Gets it off again. And it's down to Foster. A 7-second difference between the game clock and the shot clock, and John Shire wants a timeout. The last Duke timeout here in regulation. Let's take a look now at tonight's shots of the game, brought to you by Novavax.
And not surprisingly, it's going to be Cooper Flag. Started out the game with a lob bucket, and he has made shot after shot, all tough, going both ways, spinning off the contact by Jackson Robinson to get all the way to the bucket. He has been a man among men in this game for Duke, and he's done it in every way imaginable. On the glass, getting to the rim, getting the shooter's roll. 26 points, 12 rebounds, all of them on the defensive end. He has made some outstanding plays in this game. And Duke with a chance to take the lead. 19 seconds on the shot clock, 26.5 left in regulation.
So what are you looking for coming out of the huddle for the Blue Devils?
I'm looking to get the ball to Flag. Put him in a ball screen situation. I'd even set it with Knipple and see if you can get a switch and let him take on that switch. He's such a good passer. If he draws too much attention, he can get it to an open player. But I like the ball in his hands.
Packed house, great game, and tied at 72 with 26.5 seconds to go in regulation. Duke is now out of timeouts. Kentucky's got 2. Duke is in the bonus. Kentucky's over the limit. If it gets back, when it gets back going the other way, worth noting that Duke has a foul to give.
A foul to give, but one thing you don't want to do if you're Kentucky, you want to play great defense, but you don't want to give up a foul. You know, play good defense without fouling, because there's still time for Kentucky to take it the other way, even if there's a basket made. But that foul to give is a big issue.
Duke has the possession arrow as well, should it come to that. And it's going to be the freshman Knipple to inbound it for the Blue Devils.
Flag being guarded by Andrew Carr.
Into Flag. Here he goes, driving on Carr. Lost it, and Oweh's got it for Kentucky. And is fouled.
Now, if the foul was before the shot, Kentucky will have to inbound it. A great play by Oweh when Flag turns his back. Oweh is able to get in and take that ball away. The question is now, it's going to be on the, looks like it's on the shot, because Oweh is going to the line. They should have fouled him before he was able to get into it.
So 2 free throws for Oweh with 10.3 to go. The junior from Newark, New Jersey, a transfer from Oklahoma.
Make or miss here. Kentucky's going to want to press up to try to slow the advance.
Boy, he willed that one in, didn't he, after it hit the front of the rim. Remember, no timeouts for Duke. Made them both. Proctor is going to inbound it. 10.3 to go. Flag has it. Between the legs, struggling to retain possession, and he turned it over. And they're going to go to the monitor again to determine possession.
Duke got the ball to its best player. And Kentucky let him advance it off the pass just about to half court.
Previous play is under review.
And Amari Williams guarding him and just mishandled the ball, and sees his hand was out of bounds. I thought his left hand was touching the end line before Amari Williams ever made contact with it.
That's when it looked like the right arm of Joe Lindsey
I think
went up in the air right.
Yeah, he's out of bounds.
It's certainly not off Williams.
Yeah, I thought he was out of bounds earlier than that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think this is going to continue to be Kentucky ball. And it's going to be a spot throw-in from there. Not the easiest place to inbound it. But really all Kentucky has to do is get it in cleanly and expect contact, because they're going to get fouled right away. What a second half by Kentucky, especially defensively.
Imagine if you're a Kentucky fan, regardless of what happens in the next 5.1, but especially if they win this game. This is game 3 of a new era, a new coach who had no players on his team when he was named head coach, and just feel the excitement from arguably, maybe inarguably, the most passionate fan base in America.
Well, and as passionate as the Kentucky fans are, I'm not sure they're more passionate than Mark Pope is about Big Blue Nation. I mean, he loves Kentucky. But right now, he would love to get a clean inbound.
Two officials, Joe Lindsay and Courtney Green, still at the monitor.
They're probably looking at the time.
Review. The previous play stands. Will be Kentucky ball with 5.5 seconds to go in the clean.
So good call, a little bit of time put back on the clock. Kentucky ball with 5.5 seconds to go.
So the ball will be inbounded by the spot where flag was out of bounds. Not the easiest place from which to inbound the ball.
And you cannot run on the baseline.
Cannot run. Right. This is a spot throw-in. Kentucky's going to put 2 guys long, Carr and Oweh.
Kobe Brea will be the inbounder. Butler and Robinson in the backcourt along with him. They're going long to Butler, and he is fouled by Foster.
That's pretty gutsy. And really well delivered by Brea. Not quite Patrick Mahomes, but a darn good pass. Just not enough pressure on him.
Probably the last kind of pass the Blue Devils were expecting in that situation. It's 1-and-1 for Butler. He can basically salt it away if he makes both. And the officials are at the monitor.
Previous players under review for time.
So now they're at the monitor again to determine how much time should be on the clock.
Well, there's no way that only .4 went in after that, went off after that catch and foul. So that's a good review. Now the clock doesn't start until the ball's touched, but that's more than .4 there. Well, maybe not. I don't know. Maybe not.
He fouled him pretty quickly.
But it's still worth the review.
After review, the play stands. Time will be 5.1.
So no change in the clock, and now the officials will try to get the players back on the court as quickly as they can. And Lamont Butler is going to be at the free throw line. Now remember, this is a fifth-year senior who played in the Final Four, who hit a game-winning shot against Florida Atlantic in a national semifinal game. He has been in and has thrived in big moments before. Missed it. Oweh keeps it alive, and he's got it. And he dribbles out the clock. But wait, was he fouled with half a second to go? He was, but what a hustle, tough play made by Oweh, who has made so many of them tonight.
That's where free throw blockouts are gigantic plays. And Cooper Flagg just didn't block out Oweh, who went right over the top to knock that ball away and then grabbed it away from Knipple before getting fouled. What a great play by Oweh.
And that should do it. A two-possession game. And what a win this is going to be for Mark Pope and the Kentucky Wildcats, coming back from a 9-point halftime deficit to win a game of this magnitude.
A tremendous amount of fight by Kentucky in this second half on both ends of the floor.
What a game, and again, what a win for Mark Pope. Just his third game as the head coach at his alma mater, and they knock off favored Duke with a tremendous amount of fight coming back in the second half to win this game 77-72 with a nightcap here at the State Farm Champions Classic. A great night of basketball here in Atlanta. Thank you so much for being with us. For Jay Billis, Jess Sims, and our crew, I'm Dan Schulman. Thanks for watching. SportsCenter is next.